My family couldn't even swim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had no athletes in my damn family, and I was a kid who kind of got the bad genes. You know, I had all these little sickly issues, all these allergic to shit. I was a little sickly kid. It's funny how when people hear my story now, they want to put a title on me, like I'm superhuman.
Yeah, like you had some special capability.
And I love it because basically it makes you feel better by putting a title on me.
Right.
You can do it too.
Absolutely. Right.
And so basically,
choice.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a horrible choice.
Right.
It's a hard choice. It's a lot of suffering involved. So for me to get the start line, through that start line journey, I realized I'm capable. So what happens through this whole process is the change of the mind. It's a change of the guard. Someone once owned my brain. I never owned it.
Yeah.
I had no control.
You outsourced it.
Yes, right. Everybody had it. It was my dad's fault. It was the kids that called me nigger fault. My mom wasn't home fault. My soon-to-be stepdad's fault. The little kid that got rid of by the bus fault. My life was, everybody had a piece of my brain.
Yep.
And through this journey of suffering, and the suffering, I put it in because I started finding myself.
Yeah.
And I started, oh no, I'm taking this back from me. This part of my brain is mine now. And I started puzzling back this piece of my brain. And through that, I grew confidence. In this process, I went from David Goggins, I started forming a guy named Goggins. I had to really I realized I had to reinvent a whole nother human being within myself, because who I am wasn't going to make it. This guy is not going to cut it. So I had to be a guy who can take any kind of pain, any kind of suffering, any kind of torture, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I had to have the people who, I had to visualize everybody that called me nigger. You have to be in a room of people like this. I had to make up these things in my mind, the things I had to overcome. And I started callousing my mind. Through a process, and it basically started with working out. It started with working out. It started with doing, like, if it started raining outside, for instance, my mind would say, that man, I'm gonna go run. If it was 3 o'clock in the morning, it started raining outside, my mind said, you gotta go run.
Get up and go run.
You have to, because I was fighting this other person.
So you essentially tried to do everything you didn't want to do.
That's all it was. Period. Dot. Everything I didn't want to do is what got me to where I'm at today.
Interesting.
Every single thing. So when we find comfort, that's where I started getting scared. When I started saying, oh, it's raining, I'm not going out there. No, you cannot say that. You cannot do that. You have got to do this. So whatever my brain thought, I did the opposite. Wherever the comfort was, I went the opposite direction. And over a period of time, boy, it calluses the out of your mind. You start to really develop a whole nother being. I say what if a lot. It sounds corny and it sounds weak, but it's true. One of the recruiters said there's not many black Navy SEALs. In fact, I was the 36th African-American SEAL in history. It's in over 7 years. Because the water, you know. Right. I mean, people get mad at me. It's true. Just get over it. And so I was like, man, what story would it be if my fat, dumb, lying to be friends with people, insecure ass can overcome this? And that what if mentality, like that dreamer mentality, just would always fuel me. It was fueling, man. What if I could be a SEAL, man? What if I can go from run a quarter mile, now I run 205 miles? What if I can go? What if I can go? And what if, how would that feel if I'm graduating? Can I look at that graduation thing I was talking about, 224, like the video I sat down and watched? This command officer stood up and he said to the graduation guys who are graduating buds, like 18 of them, he said, we live in a society where mediocrity is often rewarded. And he went on to say something about these men detest mediocrity. And I wanted to be a man that detests mediocrity. It's like I say, we live in an external world. Everything is you got to see it, touch it. It's external. If you can, for the rest of your life, live inside of yourself. Stop listening to people who are calling you fat, gay, transsexual, nigger. Everything that is makes no sense. All these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you got to flush it out. You got to just be whoever the hell God or whatever the hell you believe in. If you believe in nothing but yourself, I don't care what it is. You got to take everything and throw it away. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself. And I'm not saying don't believe in God or what you believe in, but right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not going to find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it. And that means you got to be quiet. Shut the f*** up, go in a room, stop talking, search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it. But if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. So you got to go start your journey. And the journey starts with you finding, why the hell am I here on this planet Earth? Why am I here? And if you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question. I found strength in different movies.
Yeah.
So I come home, in one movie I found a lot of strength, and as funny as it may seem, but I visualize this scene. I do it today, during the pull-up record. I did 4,030 pull-ups.
Yeah.
The last time I did it, I actually got it. It took me 3 times. I played one song for 17 hours, pretty much. It was from this movie, Rocky 1, round 14. I related to the person in the movie, but just the one scene when Apollo's beating the shit out of Rocky. He falls in the corner, and everybody, and Rocky, and Apollo turns around, arms up, happy as shit. I got this guy. He turns around not knowing that Rocky's trying to get up off the canvas.
Right.
Mickey's his trainer saying, stay down.
Right.
Everybody's saying, you did good. You did good. You went 14 rounds with the champ. Rocky didn't hear shit. He got up. It was fixing my mind today. Still, and I'm seeing it right now. When he got up, Apollo starts to turn around to see the aftermath of what the he was destroyed. And he did not expect to see what he saw.
Right.
And what I see out of the whole movie, I see Apollo Creed's face.
Yeah. Fear crept in.
Yes.
Yep.
And I said to myself as a young kid, I want to be that. I don't need to win. I don't need trophies. I don't need people to like me. I just want what he has.
Yeah.
A fictional character, whatever the hell it was, I want that. And I visualized that. And I want to become the guy who can get off the canvas and look at somebody who beat the shit out of him. Life.
Yeah.
I'm talking about life right now.
Yeah.
In life, even life itself puts their head down toward
Says,
David
"Oh,
Goggins.
yeah.
This is not going to stop.
Right.
So that mentality became what I wanted.
Nice.
And that's how it started, with that visualization of the canvas. And all I got to do is just keep getting up. So I would take it like, who would even think about doing this? So I would sit on my couch saying, who at 297, who can't swim that great, who's scared of water, would have the balls, who have the balls to man up, quit a job, and go and to put everything on himself. So it's how I started talking to myself and put myself in a whole different category, and that would fuel me the next day, and I just kept using that as fuel. No one would do this. No one would do this. You're the best around. You're the best ever live. And I just kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear, that I was never telling myself. And through time, it became reality to myself.
So you start out on the first day, and then do you start running again the second day?
Yeah, the second day, right back after it again. But I started realizing I can't run that far.
Right.
So what I did was I became damn near a professional cyclist with the miles I put on the bike. So whenever I watched TV, I had to be doing something. So I was riding the bike. I rode a bike a lot to lose the first initial kind of weight, because my bones were just hurting so bad. My body was just broken. And I learned to get over that also. And I tried to swim a lot. I wasn't a great swimmer, but putting fins on kind of equalized my body. I wasn't so negative buoyant. So I started finning a whole bunch. And I spent hours in the pool, trying to get more and more comfortable. Not because I was going underwater. I was so scared of the water that I had to live in the water. I had to become one with the water. So going to the pool used to scare me. So I went to the pool an awful lot. And then the bike got easier. I was able to run more. I went from like 1 mile. 1 mile is a great accomplishment. 2 miles, and then from 2 to 3 was a big win. I went from 3 to 6. And then, like, they have a warning order that they give people to get ready for buds. And the whole thing was running 6 miles 5 days a week. And that was my goal. And so I just I failed, I go back to scratch. I use some positive motivation. I have like one day where I'm like defeated. But I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say this, I'm just not good enough, and then we try something else. I'm going to make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I'm going to make myself good enough. And so I'm misunderstood a lot, but that's all it came down to. I made myself good enough. And the days I couldn't run that far, the next week, I would do 2 a days. So, like on the running, if I ran a quarter of a mile, I wait a couple hours, it'd haunt me, bother me. I try to run a half mile the next time. Same day. You can do more than this. If I had to walk, I had to walk. It just became just a process of grinding, and grinding is not even a good word for it. It's not even a good word for it. And just going further and further. And then when I got through running, I go to the bike. I go to the pool. If I got tired somewhere, my legs are tired, I go to the gym. And I developed this crazy workout where I was doing volume, like 200-300 reps of like very lightweight. People always say, how come you don't have any like loose skin? My workout routine in the gym became sick. It became sick. I was just doing 200-300 reps, 400 reps on like chest, just like for one simple exercise, the bench press. And I rack it, get back on it, just rep it out, trying to burn as many calories as I can, build that muscle mass. And I just became obsessed with it. The younger generation quits. Not everybody. So I got to put that. People get their butt hurt. So not everybody. Most of this generation quits the second they get talked to. You did this wrong, or they get yelled at. It's so easy to be great nowadays because everybody else most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. People have a hard thing to understand. I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, it doesn't anymore, is people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's a life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school, so guess what? I was dumb as shit. That's what 1 plus 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. That's what people understand. By me running, I am callous in my mind. I'm not training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is going to throw at me. Because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just going to crumble. And you're good for nobody. As a leader, the one thing I did horribly wrong, on my second platoon, I actually started developing an attitude towards people who didn't PT hard, who didn't get after it, who worked, because I took it all the way to the limit. And so I should have been a better leader by knowing, okay, not everybody wants to be David Goggins. Yeah. Everybody wants to go run 100 miles.
Everyone's got different skill sets.
And everybody, maybe want to go to the gym, whatever. The gym is fine, but it was just a different standard. So I couldn't take away my standard for the whole of the group.
Interesting.
I looked at people like, you man, you want to try to get hard? So my mentality, I wasn't a good leader. And I look back on that now, trust me, a lot of people could have done things differently. I'm taking accountability for what I could have done differently. I looked at that, so my mentality from a weak kid became super hard, like beyond hard, next level hard. And but that's what I thought I was getting myself into. As a leader, I should have stepped back and was, hey, these are your expectations, David Goggins.
Right.
what are we here to accomplish?
Right.
It's important to lead by example. And when I say lead by example, if you're the leader, it's the loneliest job on the planet. And if you do it, you have to be up early. You have to leave late. You got to do the sucky jobs. At least that's how I look at it. You got to be the man that is always the person who's being held accountable to the highest standard. And not expecting your people to do anything that you're not going to do 20 times more than they are. Even when you're the leader. And it's all about accountability for yourself in leadership roles. Not about being pissed because people aren't doing what you're doing. They're about different skill sets. When you are on one side of the door and your mind is racing because on the other side of that door, it could be no one. It could be 4 guys with 4 AK-47s. That door you're about to open could be booby-trapped. So once you open it, boom, your legs are gone. So there's 1,000 things you think about when you're the first guy, second guy, third guy, getting ready to go in a room and flood it. And that's why I talk about the warrior mentality. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the right. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. But the mentality of a warrior is very different than the normal mentality. You must be that person on that door, get ready to open it, thinking to yourself, if I die, so be it. The only way you can go in that door is knowing there's a great chance you're going to die. Like being a SEAL, you train with live ammo. You jump out of an airplane. Everything you do, you could die. So to be a warrior, why people don't understand me, I'm glad you don't understand me. Merry Christmas, good on you. Because being a warrior takes a whole different mindset. A whole different mindset to know that there's a great chance I may not be in there. Like I was in for 21 years. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm alive, able to talk to you, able to still run. But when you sign up on that dotted line to be like a SEAL, your mentality changes. I may not live. You gotta accept that. And that's the mentality you have. And that's what makes you a warrior. If you're scared to die, you're a bad warrior. I hated jumping out of airplanes. I hated shooting guns. I hated the job as a Navy SEAL. But I did it because I wanted to change myself. Everything I do, I'm not really comfortable doing. But if you choose to go that route, to go be a Navy SEAL, you might as well go be the hardest in the world. Because if you're choosing to do something, you have 2 routes. You can go there and be a little weak person and get through barely, and that's your reputation. Or you can go through the hardest guy you can possibly be, and that's your reputation. So my whole thing is, if you're going to choose to open that door in Iraq or Afghanistan, open them and go in hard. Because they're going to remember you by slowly opening it and peeking in. So if you're going to open it, and you made the mind to open it, don't crack it open. Open the door, go in. That's with life. If you're choosing to do something, attack it. Because they're going to remember you as not attacking it. So I want to be remembered. You can hate me, but one thing you can't say about me, I didn't attack it. So that's the mentality you have. If you're going to do something, you might as well attack it, because you do it anyway.
Right. Do you use that in civilian life? Like, do you still employ the, I'm going to attack it, I'm going to take their souls? Like, how does that play out in a non-combat zone?
It still works for me in life as far as attacking things, because no matter what I want to, no matter what avenue I choose, I want to be the very best. And the very best may not be I'm number one. The very best is that I leave everything inside of me out there. So attacking is not like, oh, I want to win this or win that or be the best. The best is I'm running against myself in everything I do, and that's what I attack. I attack myself. I'm always questioning myself. I'm always holding myself accountable. Do you ever do yoga?
All the time, man. All the time. And if I were to tell somebody one thing right now, man, that soul has muscle
and getting that hip flexor opened up, because we're all stressed the out. It's almost worse than others. It changed my life.
I'm one of those, I drone on too much about yoga. I'm like one of those vegans. It's like, you gotta do it, man. Right. Just try it. I get annoying, like a born-again Christian or something. It's like,
I'm getting that way now, man. I'm getting that way now.
For anybody who does anything hard, like, you know, if you do anything like with weightlifting type shit or martial arts type shit, where it's just everything's explosion, it's lifting, it's heavy, it's push.
Right.
Yoga just will balance your shit out.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will.
It really will, man. And there's all these people that resist it. Like, there was some article recently that was something along the lines of hot yoga is just trendy nonsense. I read that, and then even in the article, it talked about that there might be some benefits in terms of like the strengthening your arteries, and they didn't even mention heat shock proteins. There's a study going on right now. I believe it's at Harvard.
Right.
One of my friends was telling me about it, where they're trying to find the benefits of 90-minute hot yoga classes because they think it might mirror the observed benefits of sauna, which they already know for a fact. Has big benefits because of your body producing heat shock proteins to deal with the heat.
Right.
That's why I put that sauna in here, man. I go enough all the time.
Well, no one can tell me it doesn't work.
It's big.
It's proof positive. It changed my life. It wasn't a medication or this or a drug. It was stretching.
Yeah.
It was yoga, stretching, all that stuff combined changed it. I was in Spanish class, obviously, opened a notebook up and said, "Nigga, we're going to kill you." Had a drawing of me and actually talked to the principal because I'm in the process of writing my book right now. His name is Kurt Freeman. He goes, "Yeah, I talked to him 2 days ago."
No kidding.
He said, "I remember like it was yesterday." So I left my class, didn't tell the teacher, went right to his office and showed him it, and he said, and I wasn't a good speller at all, obviously. I copied. And they spelled nigger Niger. I didn't know I spelled nigger, you know what I'm saying? They spelled nigger Niger. So he looked at me and said, "They're ignorant." And that was the best advice he can give me. Yeah. My mom was working 3 jobs. I was a latchkey kid. I was on my own. I did my own thing, man. I missed almost all my junior year of high school, never to school, just did my own thing. And that was a turning point when I really realized I was on my own. I mean, it just kind of hit me. Like, the best advice you can give me is just spell nigger Niger. And pretty much, I think he called my mom up and I went back to class. And I realized that life isn't fair. It's not fair. And you better figure out some tools and some ways to stop feeling sorry for yourself, because no one is coming to rescue you. No one feels sorry for you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, no one really cared about me. That's how I felt. That was the reality of it.